On the morning of January 29, 1979, children lined up outside an elementary school in San Diego, California, waiting for the gates to open. Across the street, a 16-year-old girl was watching them from her window. This is her story. This is her crime. Brenda Ann Spencer was born on April 3, 1962, in San Diego, California. She was the youngest of 3 children. When she was young, her parents separated, and she went to live with her father, Wallace Spencer, in the San Carlos neighborhood of San Diego. The home she grew up in was not a stable one. Empty whiskey bottles lined the rooms. She shared a single mattress with her father. Wallace Spencer was a gun enthusiast, and that fascination with firearms passed directly to his daughter. Neighbors described Brenda as a troubled child. A history of petty theft, drug abuse, and truancy followed her through her teenage years. The school directly across the street from the Spencer home was Grover Cleveland Elementary School. It was not an abstract target to Brenda Spencer. It was a place she could see from her window every single day. In the weeks before January 1979, she had already been breaking the school's windows with a BB gun. Nobody stopped her. Nobody intervened in any meaningful way. And in December 1978, her father gave her a Christmas gift that would change everything. A Ruger .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle and ammunition. A week before the shooting, Brenda Spencer told classmates that she wanted to do something big to get on TV. Nobody took it seriously. On the Saturday before the shooting, she told another teenager that something big was going to happen on Monday that would be on TV and radio. On the morning of Monday, January 29, 1979, she asked her father if she could stay home from school because she did not feel well. Her father left for work at 7 a.m. She later claimed she spent that morning drinking whiskey and taking substances she had bought at school. At 8:30 a.m., the children of Grover Cleveland Elementary began lining up outside the gates, waiting for Principal Burton Ragg to open them. Brenda Spencer picked up her rifle and opened fire. She fired from her bedroom window directly across the street at the children waiting outside the school gates. She fired 36 rounds in total. 9-year-old Cam Miller was the first child she hit. She later said she chose him because he was wearing blue, which was her favorite color. 8 children were wounded. Principal Burton Ragg heard the shots and ran outside to get the children out of harm's way. Spencer shot him in the chest and killed him. Custodian Mike Sucher ran out to pull a student to safety. Spencer shot and killed him too. A 28-year-old police officer named Robert Robb responded to the scene and was shot in the neck as he arrived. After firing 36 rounds, Brenda Spencer barricaded herself inside her home. The standoff with police lasted more than 6 hours. During that time, she spoke by telephone to a reporter from the San Diego Union-Tribune, who had been calling random numbers in the neighborhood. What she said to that reporter became one of the most chilling quotes in the history of American crime. When asked why she had done it, she said, "I don't like Mondays. This livens up the day." She also told police negotiators that the children and adults she had shot were easy targets. She warned them that she was going to come out shooting. She eventually surrendered peacefully after negotiators promised her a meal from Burger King. The quote traveled around the world. Bob Geldof, the lead singer of the Boomtown Rats, read about it when a newswire came through at a radio station in Atlanta. He was so struck by it that he wrote a song, "I Don't Like Mondays," which was released in July 1979 and went to #1 in the United Kingdom for 4 weeks. It became one of the most well-known songs of its era. Brenda Spencer heard the song from prison. She was reportedly pleased that it had been written about her. Brenda Spencer was 16 years old at the time of the shooting. She was charged as an adult. She did not go to trial. She pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder and assault with a deadly weapon. She was sentenced to 2 concurrent terms of 25 years to life in prison. She became eligible for parole in 1993. At her 2001 parole hearing, she claimed for the first time that the violence stemmed from an abusive home life, that her father had beaten and sexually abused her. The parole board chairman expressed doubt about these allegations, noting that Spencer had never discussed them with any counselor throughout her years of incarceration. Brenda Spencer has been denied parole multiple times. In 1993, 2001, 2005, 2009, and again in 2022. At her most recent hearing in February 2025, she was denied once again following strong opposition from prosecutors and victim statements from survivors and their families. One survivor, Cam Miller, the 9-year-old boy she shot first because he was wearing blue, testified against her release decades later. He described being a child terrorized for years after the shooting, calling to his mother multiple times each night just to make sure Brenda Spencer was not inside his house. The son of Principal Burton Ragg also testified. He said his father and custodian Mike Sucher were the only two to die that day. The children they were trying to save all lived. Some were seriously injured, but all survived. He said he hoped his father and Mike knew that somehow. His daughter spoke too. She said her children had never met their grandfather and never would because he was murdered by Brenda Spencer. At a parole hearing in 2001, Brenda Spencer said something that has stayed with the true crime community ever since. She told the board, "With every school shooting, I feel I am partially responsible. What if they got the idea from what I did?" The San Diego County Deputy District Attorney, who has opposed her release, stated that Spencer hurt so many people and had so much to do with starting a deadly trend in America. Some have referred to her as the mother of subsequent school shootings, including Columbine and Newtown. Whether that weight of responsibility has ever truly landed on Brenda Spencer remains an open question. As of 2026, Brenda Ann Spencer remains imprisoned at the California Institution for Women in Chino, California. She is 63 years old. She will not be eligible for another parole hearing until 2028. The school she opened fire on, Grover Cleveland Elementary, eventually closed. But for the children who were there that morning on January 29, 1979, it never really ended. The sound of those shots followed them for the rest of their lives. Principal Burton Ragg was 53 years old. He ran toward the gunfire to save his children. Custodian Mike Sucher was 56 years old. He ran out to pull a student to safety. Neither of them made it home that day. They deserved better. Their families deserved better.